Hello there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is episode 5 or part 5 of reading all the manga and manhwa from my TBR. I can't believe I've reached episode 5 and there's so much more to read, so I hope you guys stick around. If you haven't watched the last 4 episodes, I'll link them throughout the video, and let's get started. The first manga that I read is Bride of the Barrier Master. This story has romance, fantasy, and supernatural elements. There are 5 crystals that support Japan, and the destruction of one of them could lead to a huge disaster. There are 5 powerful clans of practitioners that protect the crystals from enemies. Hana and Hazuki are twin sisters from a branch of one of the clans. Hazuki is gifted with strong powers and is beloved by her parents, while Hana has no signs of any gifts and her parents often detest her for that. One day, Hana obtains great power. With this power, she decides to hide it so that she can avoid having any attention on her, but this does not last long. This first volume was very funny. I enjoyed it so much. I had this one on my TBR for a really long time and it looked very interesting. I was also happy after reading this first volume, I think it was a couple of weeks after, that I saw the announcement that this manga will be adapted into an anime and it's going to come out in January next year, so I'm very excited for that. While I was reading this story, it heavily reminded me of the Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride, but this feels like more of a modern take of that story, so I really enjoyed that aspect. I love seeing Hana obtain her powers because before then, when she had none, she was heavily abused by her family, and it was just so hard to read to see how like they favored her sister Hazuki because she's like gifted and whatnot, and they're like literally placing all their bets on Hazuki while Hana is just like a nobody to them, and that made me so upset. But to see her obtain these powers, I was so happy for her. I would definitely want to continue on reading this series. I rated this one a 5 out of 5. This series is ongoing with 7 volumes. Next up, I have The 13th Footprint. This story has mystery, thriller, and suspense. Toya and Haru's son Ayo has been released from the hospital after being sick for a while, and now the family can start afresh together in their new home. However, as soon as they move in, Toya, the husband, starts to receive these postcards that predict what will happen the next day. At first, he thinks it's just a prank, but these predictions turn out to be true every single time. I really loved this one. The mystery in this one was so great, and I loved how it was a mixture of cute and eeriness. Like, there was the cuteness with the son and him being out of the hospital and him seeing his friends again, but then there was a sense of eeriness with the postcards and the predictions being true. And there's still also a lot about the family that, like, as a reader, I don't know. It seems that a lot of things happened before Ayo ended up in the hospital. There's some mystery with that and with the mom and with the husband. So I also loved how the family engages with each other. Like, they are so sweet, they are so kind to each other. I especially love the mother because she really pushes him to be like every other child and wants him to have fun and go outside. I would definitely read on with the second volume because this one was so enjoyable. I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars, and this series is ongoing with 2 volumes. Next up, I have the Yakuza's Bias. This one is a comedy and slice of life. Ken Kaneshiro is one of the top lieutenants of the Washio clan. The boss's daughter Megumi drags Ken to a K-pop concert, and this is where he gets enchanted by one of the idols, June. Now Ken is a huge fan of his, and he is sucked into the world of K-pop fandom. I could heavily relate to Ken and just having a bias and having someone like you absolutely love from a K-pop group. It reminded me when I first got into K-pop, like the amount of just biases I had and the groups that I loved and just how deep into the fandom I was. Overall, it was really fun reading this. Like, it was so cute to see Ken, who's like a part of just a Yakuza like clan, get into K-pop idols and just like fandom culture, and like the way he's like understanding everything is through the lens of like a Yakuza, so it's like so funny. Kind of reminds me of Yakuza and Cat sort of story. Normal K-pop fandom stuff, but like when he says or does it, it just sounds so cryptic and so gangster-like. I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. This series is complete with 2 volumes. Next one is Beastmaster. This is a romance and comedy story. Yuiko loves animals, but they do not love her. One day she tries to save a cat that's up in a tree, but then she is surprised to see that there's a boy also up there. The boy's name is Leo, and he's quite the unusual character, and these two start to form a very strange bond. This one, I thought the story was overall good, but it really wasn't my favorite. One of the issues that I had with this story was that Leo was supposed to be this character that is like wild and whatnot, and he is like, I guess, wild because he was like raised in Africa and with the like leopards and lions, and I just felt like it was too generalized stereotype. Like there's other wild places in the world and it's not only Africa, so I had a problem with that. The author tried to like justify some of his actions. For example, like he's like, you know, his eyes being so wild and all this other things. Like other than that, I think the story was great in terms of showing the themes of kindness and accepting people for who they are and not judging before you get to know a person. I would not continue on reading this series, and the crazy thing is that this is only a 2-volume series and it's completed. I mean, I easily could finish this series, but I don't want to. There's some other things too that happen that just like, I'm like, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. I wouldn't continue on this series. It is completed at 2 volumes and I gave this one a 3 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read The Strange House. This is a horror, mystery, and supernatural thriller story. A freelance occult writer named Mimiya is shown a house floor plan that seems normal. However, there is a space within the floor plan that seems quite unusual. This leads the writer and his architect friend to investigate what that space could possibly be used for and why it was placed there. I liked the mystery in this one, but not as much as in the 13th Footprint. I loved how this mystery revolved around the house floor plans, so him including his architect friend really kind of made it more interesting because the architect was explaining like, okay, so if they built this house, you know, and it was a family house and they have a kid, and they're just like going over like the reasons why a person would want something in a house or position it in a certain way. And it was really interesting to see the architect friend break it down and then come up with theories, and then Mimiya would then further on go into looking into more houses like this or stories like this, and it was really interesting. I'm not sure if I would continue on this one because again, I wasn't hooked onto the mystery aspect of this one as much as I was with the 13th Footprint. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, but in reality I really want to give this one a 3.5, so I'm just gonna say for this video I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. This series is ongoing with 5 volumes. The last one that I read is Mixed Vegetables. This one is a romance, comedy, and cooking story. Hanayu Ashitaba's family owns a bakery called Pastier Ashitaba. She wants to become a sushi chef, so her plan is simple. Marry Hayato Hyuga of Sushi Hyuga, and that way her family will have to accept her decision. She plans to entice Hayato with her amazing cooking skills. I had such a fun time reading this one. This manga is another one that was on my TBR for a long time, and it's another cooking one. The last one that I read that revolved around cooking was Momo Confessier, and I have that one on my shelf. Kind of reminds me of that one in a bit with the whole cooking aspect, and I absolutely love that. The comedy in this story was so great, and there were so many funny moments, and I love the art. Like it just brings out the comedy even more within like the different characters and the interactions that they have like with each other. I liked the quick pacing of the story, but it never felt like it was rushing. It felt like everything was kind of leading into the next chapter or the next scene. Our main character Hanayu really wants to become a sushi chef. There's like so many different types of knives that she knows, and it's really interesting to like learn about that world. I would really love to continue on this series because I had such a fun time with the first volume. Like it was really a breeze. Like I was like reading on, and then when I reached the end I'm like, damn, I want more. This one was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. This series is completed with 8 volumes. So that is it for this video. I'm really excited for the anime Bride of the Barrier Master to come out next year. I don't know if I'm really going to be able to jump back into that manga, only if I somehow finish this whole TBR challenge before then. Hopefully I will. But yeah, I'm just really excited for that. And I liked how I had 2 mysteries this time around. And again, 13th Footprint, that one is a newer one. And I think so is Strange House, but I think Strange House came a little bit earlier before 13th Footprint. But yeah, that one I really want to continue on reading. That one was so cute, and again, like so eerie too at the same time. And it's so difficult when I like an older series because it's like I know, oh, I'm about to go on a hunt, and it's not easy to find, you know, these older series, and they cost, you know, a bit. So I don't know, maybe sometime in the future I will collect Mixed Vegetables, and if not, well, I don't know, I had a fun time reading it. That's it for this video, and until next time, bye bye.